How's it going, folks? I wanted to look at one of Dad's songs that I released recently. And since releasing that song, I learnt something about Studio One. And I really wish I had done that on that song before I released it. But it is only the single version. So if I fix this before we release the album, it'll be fine. It'll just be the single version, and I can re-upload the single version at a later date. But for now, we just want to try and get the views on it and see if people like the actual song, which is the important part, regardless of how the voice sounds. So we're going to be looking specifically at the voice. So we'll jump in here. And I'll show you around. We've got a fair few tracks in here, not for a big production, but it's a very simple song. So we've got some cello, violin, French horns, timpani, which is really interesting. If you're listening in big speakers, you'll hear that for sure. It's quite a nice sort of rumble sound after the initial hit on the timpani. We've got little bits of guitar, which are just in little cuts there, just in those little spaces. And this is just the MIDI up in this section here. So we're not using the MIDI anymore. I've rendered that audio from the MIDI, which is as simple as, I'll show you. So that's the cello. We'll just delete that and grab this cello line and bring it down to the audio track there, and it'll render that audio. So we'll just cancel that and backspace. And we'll, well, Control Z. I think people know this by now. So that there, as long as when you look at the track, usually you'd have nothing in that track before you render that audio. It is a little bit different for drums. So the main thing that I wanted to look at is the vocals. You can see here I've got an original vocal track, which I've muted. And there is a reason for that muting, and not just muting the track. And I will show you that in a second. And we've got just some ghost vocals here that Dad's called it ghost vocals. So they're just a repeating, what does he say? Watchmaker. So I'll give you a listen to the start of the track. I haven't disturbed anything here, have I? Nothing to undo, that's good. And what I will do is just save it as a new, date is now 05:15. So that's saved as. So I'll give you a little play.
You felt sorrow and desertion. You knew bitterness and subversion.
So I guess you'll hear it already. I did a bit of processing on that voice to try and de-ess the voice. De-ess. Because there's quite a lot of sibilance in there. And I mean, you can probably hear it in my voice too. I tend to put a lot of sibilants in my normal speech. So when Dad is singing, he does put a lot of sibilants in there. And he also writes lyrics that have a lot of S's and T and Ch. So it does come through a lot.
You felt sorrow and desertion.
So what I want to try and do is get rid of that. Now, I do have the original vocal, which I did no processing to yet. But where is it? In here. So they're turned off for now. And this is kind of what I had going on. I had an expander to reduce some noise, some EQs to try and, some dynamic EQs to try and reduce the sibilants in here. And some more sibilants sort of removal, dynamic EQs. And I had a fat channel compressor after that. That one's bypassed. I also had the de-esser and a second de-esser at a different frequency. And some more dynamic sibilance removal after it. So you can see it's, I threw the whole basket of things against it to try and fix that. But in the meantime, I've learned something, and I'm going to apply that to this track today. So we'll jump across into the other file here. And this song isn't released as yet. I'll give you a quick look at this one. So once again, it's, the MIDI has been rendered as audio. And we've got some cello, violins, French horns, and the vocals down here. So you can see this is the lead vocal, the original. Dad recorded at home. And then this one here is actually a vocal that we recorded again on one of my microphones. And it was a lot better. Just the sound of that vocal. So maybe I can play a quick section in here. We'll unmute this. We will unmute this. Interesting. I'm just going to go file save as again, just in case I muck anything up in here. 15th, wasn't it? So we'll solo this one. And we might just repeat this little section in here somewhere. So it sounds like looks like a good transient there.
Faded memory.
Why is everything else coming through? Oh, this is the feature that I wanted to show you later on. But I'm just going to turn them off. I'll just turn off crosstalk for now. And we'll jump back into that, what I was showing you.
On a grandfather's knee, faded memories. On a grandfather's knee, faded memory.
So you can see a huge amount of f in his f. He's blowing a lot of air into the microphone. So now what we'll do is mute event, and we'll unmute this one. And solo this. Yep, it's not what we want.
Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
So you can tell there already the sound is a lot nicer, a lot thicker, and not as much blown air. So we did have a pop filter in front of the microphone. I would have preferred it a little bit further away from the mic, but we had it about maybe 4 inches away from the microphone, and that is in front of a SM58. So Shure SM58, which I love the sound of. So we'll hear that again.
Faded memories.
And I'll take it back to the other one. Oh.
Faded memory.
So you can tell the difference there. That's the a Sennheiser microphone. I can't remember which one. It's like an E825 or something like that.
Faded memories.
And Control YY to bring this back in.
Faded memories.
So you can tell already that that vocal take is a lot better. And so what I'll do now is show you solo that. And this is after processing. So we'll jump into here. And this is it here. Yep. So after processing.
Faded memories on a grandfather's knee. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
And the other thing that makes a big difference to this is the crosstalk. So we'll apply the crosstalk in the Mix FX. I'm using the Brit console, as you can see here. I've got the character up to full. I've got crosstalk up to full. And drive up pretty high on these. No boosted drive. And I've got it on the vintage setting. So that's, and I've got it running through 2 buses, as you can see here. And that's for a reason, because I really like the sound of the Brit console on top of these lyrics and driving them quite hard into the Mix FX. And I've also got it over here as well. So you'll probably hear the difference already, and I'll click them on and off.
Faded memories on a grandfather's knee. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
And what is going to make it even better is if I also solo the tracks next to it, which I've also got the same processing in, okay?
Faded memories on a grandfather's knee. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
So you can tell there the sound just becomes thick. It jumps out at you, and it gives it a nice, almost an overdrive as well. And I don't know, it really makes a big difference, which I learned a little while ago with this Mix FX. It's a great thing. So you can show, we've got other ones in here. I do like the CTC. I'll just show you. Actually, I don't know what the settings are in that. So I'll show you in here. So the CTC, the classic one is quite good. Tube actually makes it quite bright. So I'll just play that section again.
Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
That's
Faded
noise.
memories on a grandfather's knee. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
Yeah.
Faded memories on a grandfather's knee. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
So you can tell how different the sound is when you're using one of them. So I'll change it back to Brit console, where I had it about here-ish. Crosstalk was 100 or close to 100. Vintage, yeah, full. And you do have a master level here, which you can use. It is quite effective.
Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
Okay, so we'll talk about the effects now, and I think... Is it this section?
Into the mountains we saw great castles and old fountains where she came from.
Where is the shapes and structures? I think that's here.
Had a cousin's faces.
Nope.
Sanlian
Where is that? Is it here?
as a heart races. Of olden times,
Oh, here we go, yeah.
shapes and structures of those she meets, familiar faces of those she meets, shapes and structure of olden times, shapes and structure of a Roman mind.
So you can tell the sibilance in there is still, it's still there, obviously. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get rid of all of it without it sounding unnatural. So I'll show you what I've got here. So I've got the expander, and that takes away all the noise that is in the track in between. Also, but I have deleted a lot of noise in there anyway. You might be hear a little bit in here if I take that away.
Times, shapes and structure of a Roman mind.
Yeah, so you can hear the sound in there, and I'll turn it back on.
Shapes and structure of olden times, shapes and structure of a Roman mind.
Yeah, see how that takes the noise away just almost completely, which is really good. So if you set this up properly, negative 24 dB is more than enough. I've got it on the fastest attack possible. So this is in milliseconds. So 10 milliseconds is the default, I think. But you can bring it to 0.1 millisecond, which is amazingly fast. The other thing is look ahead. So if you turn that off, it doesn't actually look ahead on the track, and the attack time is often too slow. So the look ahead, yeah, means it's processing prior to, yeah, whatever, however that works, it works well. Ratio I don't really touch, I'll leave as the default. And release I tend to have about this sort of time, unless you got a lot of noise at the end, which you can reduce that. But sometimes you get a bit of, what do they call it? Pulsing or, I can't remember what they call it now. I'll think of the name later on. The next thing, we're going into a compressor. And if you notice here, this is the fat channel. I'll give you a look at the others. So we've got lots and lots of different types of compressors here, and they're all emulating different things. The Brit Comp one is supremely good for vocals. It does add, it makes it thick, and I really do like that. So I'm actually using that in the vocals bus here, I believe. Yes. So if you put the ratio on 10, adjust your threshold and give it a little bit of makeup gain here. And attack I usually have on either 0.1 or 0.3 for most things. And release 0.3 to 0.6 is usually pretty good. And it makes vocals sound really nice. So we'll jump back in here. So that's your fat channel. I've got the threshold. Because I'm only looking at the 16 kilohertz, I've got to crank the threshold way up, ratio way up, and the gain way up to try and capture those S's. So we'll have a look at this.
Shapes and structure of olden times, shapes and structure of a Roman mind, shapes and structure.
So that first shapes and structure is a lot for it.
Shapes and structure.
So I'm getting sort of maybe 8 or 9 dB of gain reduction just from that 16 kilohertz range. I will change this.
Shapes and structure.
So that's off.
Of olden times. Shapes and structure.
And we'll put this back up to here.
Shapes and structure.
So you notice the rest of the vocal came up, but the S's remained about the same. So that's pretty much what I wanted. And then further again, I've got the de-esser, which is running at 12 kilohertz, which is all the way up. It's turned all the way up to the full. And this is doing this.
Shapes and structure of olden times.
Go back to the same S.
Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure.
For some reason, it's sounding better in my headphones with it turned off. Interesting.
Shapes and structure of olden times. Shapes and structure of a Roman mind. Shapes and structure of olden times. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure.
It is darker. It is interesting. I may have to have another little look at this. Maybe because it's hitting this harder. Because I do also have the Pro EQ with dynamic on here. So maybe I'll just play this again. Where are we looking at? Oh, it's over there. It's fine.
Shapes and structure. 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 Shapes and structure.
Well, that's interesting. Oh, I thought I had that perfectly. So what else could I do here? We'll solo this.
Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure.
Okay. So what I might do is put that after the Pro EQ, just to capture those top bits.
Shapes and structure. 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 Shapes and structure.
You can see how dark it gets when I crank it right up. So obviously you've got to, you've got to experiment with how much you're reducing here.
Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure.
That sounds better there.
Shapes and structure. Shapes and structure. Knows where she's been. San Leonardo.
That might be better.
Familiar lifestyles in the streets. Familiar faces of those she meets. Shapes and structure, shapes and structure of olden times. Shapes and structure of a Roman mind. And she sometimes, sometimes, sometimes
can't get the S after it. Yeah, so I don't want to take away any of the other, well, basically anything else except for the S's, obviously. But yeah, hard to capture that little the last little S in that one. Yeah, so.
Sometimes, 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 sometimes.
So to capture it, you need to take away a lot of the sort of, what do they call it, the air of the voice. So I'm not really interested in that. So I think probably around the 32 dB drop.
Sometimes. Shapes and structure of a Roman mind. And she smiles as her heart races. Yes, she smiles at her cousin's faces. San Leonardo.
That's looking pretty good.
Faded memories when she was 3. Faded memories on her grandfather's knees. Faded memories when faded memories when she was 3. Faded memories on her grandfather's knee.
That's a bit better there, I think.
Traveled into the mountains. We saw great castles.
Okay, so now you heard me. I also soloed the other 2 tracks that are side by side here. And you heard the sibilants come back. So what we've got to do now, I think these are quite similar. So those settings are basically the same. And these are basically identical, except this one I've got cranked way up. So I'm taking out all the sibilants, and with it, a fair bit of high frequency stuff. But it's in a parallel channel. So the crosstalk, puts the signal of the main channel into those other 2. I could probably rename these so you could, so we'll go crosstalk left and crosstalk right. How about that? Oop. Crosstalk right. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is copy these across. So it's just a de-esser. So I'll drag that down to 2nd place after the Pro EQ there. And also to copy across, you just grab this one and put it so it's highlighted. If you want to do another one, you can drop it there. But for this purpose, it'll be replacing that. So replace that with that, and replace that one with that. So now we should have it all sounding reasonably good.
Fading memories when she was 3. Faded memories.
So in here, that's the one I wanted to look for, but we're going to drag that all the way down. And the same with this one, drag that all the way down. So in the crosstalk, into these tracks that are parallel, adjacent.
Fading memories when she was 3.
So that's a lot better there. I'll go Control ZZ to take that back.
Fading memories.
You can hear a lot of s at the end there. We'll turn that back on.
Fading memories when she was 3.
Yep, so that's the desired effect. And you know what? I might actually put another one in and put that to 12 kilohertz, and we'll drop that right out. And copy that across to here as well. We'll see what happens.
Fading memories when she was 3.
Yeah, see, I'm actually capturing a fair few there.
Fading memories when she was 3. Faded memories on a grandfather's knee.
Okay, all right, I think I've got it. So now what I'm going to do is replace lead vocal left, yep. And replace, these are templates. And replace, yep. Okay, so I've got them replaced. So then what we're going to do is jump back into this other project. And I will revert to, which one is it? That's a good question. Rear main vocal. I don't think that's out of, I've bounced that, haven't I? Yeah, so I think these are definitely the original vocal. And we'll unmute them. Unmute events. And I'm probably just going to create a new vocal. So I might just put the 3 tracks that I was talking about before. Do I want as a stereo output? No, it's got to be mono. Yeah, they're all mono, aren't they? Yeah. So we'll just go 3 mono tracks. We'll call that lead vocal. What is it? Crosstalk. Crosstalk left. Crosstalk right. And what we'll do is probably just copy all those. Should I copy or should I? I could just copy, couldn't I? And then there is where is that feature? Oh, here we go. Separate shared copies. So they become their own file, so to speak. So, yeah. I mean, I don't have to do that, but it just means that if I make any changes to these, it won't actually affect the original. Ah, I didn't even copy them. Okay. Mistake number 1. All right, so hold down Alt. and copy those across. Oh my goodness. Right. Now we can go event, separate shared copies. Okay. There we go. Wonderful. So you can see the one has gone up here. So this is the original track. And the first copy of this, copy number 2. So there we go. So it's probably created 25 files there. But anyway, that'll be fine. So next thing to do, we'll mute all these again, just so the original recording is untouched and we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we go take that off and we're going to jump into here. We'll just play a section of it.
You knew bitterness and subversion. Now the truth is in your tree.
So breathy.
Did you find your sanctity? Maybe there is somewhere you can find free air.
I want to find a real essy section.
You treated life as a treasure, but you saw truth in words of leisure.
Yeah.
Truth. But you saw truth in... Why can't the young... Why must my... Believing somewhere you can find free air and heart. Net. You attracted friendships like a magnet.
Yeah, so this section in here.
You attracted friendships like a magnet. You attracted friendships like a magnet.
Okay, so we're gonna listen to that little section in there. Just that section, I think.
You attracted friendships.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just look at the track presets we've got in here. Vocals, and I've got it as lead vocal de-esser. And this side is lead vocal left. And this side, lead vocal right. So automatically, we should have, it should be very loud actually. Yes, extremely loud. So I think these were down, I'm just going to put them down about 10. We'll see what happens.
You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships.
Okay, and we'll... Oh. I'll have to just change this. Green, please. So the original is this one, I believe. Yeah, so that's that one there. So we'll just solo that.
You attracted friendships.
Okay, so we'll try and match that volume. Maybe it is about here-ish.
You attracted friendships.
Nowhere near it. What's going on here?
You attracted friendships. 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 You attracted friendships.
We're getting
You
closer there.
attracted friendships. You 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 attracted friendships.
Okay. All right, so we're getting close to what I wanted there. And the other thing I'm going to change is this. And you might see, I'll keep it playing while I change this. But what I will do is just add another bus track there. So right click into that folder and we'll go pack folder again. Change color to green. I might go a bit darker green. So it differentiates. And we'll go vocals 2. And we'll add a bus for that as well. So you can see another bus has popped up in here. I mean, I don't know if this is how professional people do it, but this is just how I'm doing it. And it seems to sound really good actually. So I'm quite chuffed with it. So what we'll do, we'll jump in here.
You attracted friendships. 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 You attracted friendships.
Okay. What we'll do is, oh yeah, no, not that. We'll drag just the fat channels across. Just to copy them.
You attracted friendships.
It's getting better. It's hard to work with this vocal. I don't know. It's quite. It's a shame because he sings beautifully, and we're just not able to capture it with the stuff that we're using, which is unfortunate.
You attracted friendships.
Okay. Yeah, it's just not quite sounding the sort of way I want it. But what I will do, actually, because it's coming across into these other channels, I'm just going to copy these across. It's already saved as a yeah. It's already a save as. So we'll just drag those effects across to the other channels and see if that makes a difference. Interesting. So across to here, we'll drop them down. And here, we're going to go back up to 0 somewhere. And we're just going to drop down this gain. So we're working with a different vocal here, so the preset is not going to work.
You attracted friendships. 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 You attracted friendships.
Still getting a lot of S's in there, aren't we? It's crazy.
You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships.
Ah,
You attracted friendships.
So it was coming from those there. Okay. So what we might have to do is just drop down the crosstalk. I'll see what those are sounding like anyway. So we'll bring them back in. Yeah, so I'm not happy with the sound of them either. So we might just drop these over as well. Yeah, probably the main one or the... we'll go this one. And we'll see what happens there. So that's sounding a lot better in there already. I'm not sure what I was trying to achieve with all that stuff. I'm just not used to the software, and you know, every time I produce another one of Dad's songs, I get better and I learn new things, and you know, this is just how it goes sometimes. So we'll listen to that again.
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker.
So they're sounding quite good in there. I haven't put the reverb on these yet, but that's okay. I just want to listen to the track just by itself.
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker.
The other thing I've got is I can see the light ramping up and down on the camera there. Yeah, every time I look away from the camera, it brightens up. Interesting. So the other thing I've got is in here. What did I call it? What did I call it? Vocal bus. So from San Leonardo. Okay, so that's going to make a difference again.
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker.
So we'll just repeat this section here.
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker. 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 A bearded tanner and a watchmaker.
Okay. And I've got the limiter in there as well, which we'll be doing a little bit of pop filtering, I think.
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker.
It's not actually, but that's okay. All right, so that seems to be that done. These tracks as well should be all mono, really. So we'll change it in here. The Studio One gives you a lot of features in here. Yeah, sometimes mono sounds better, sometimes stereo sounds better. And for instruments, I've been using the 4-channel music. It's like a Dolby Atmos something. So the next thing to do, I run everything through the reverb bus, which I've got here. And so you put it in as a send. So send negative 10.8, negative 4.6. Yeah, I reckon it's going to be about the negative 10.8. Backup vocals, I pump pretty hard through the reverb usually. So I'm going to chuck them into each one. And you can see here I'm using it's a medium plate preset, gen plate, and yeah, about 5.3 seconds there. Release. And we'll listen to that section just again.
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker. A bearded tanner and a watchmaker.
So that's sounding a lot better to what I had, admittedly. So what do we got here? So I'm still playing that one, am I, as well?
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker. A bearded tanner.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is mute that out because that's changing things as well. So we'll mute that one out. We don't need that anymore.
A bearded tanner and a watchmaker.
I think that was the problem, actually. My goodness. We'll just go back in here somewhere and have a listen to it again.
You attracted friendships like a magnet. And sometimes you couldn't see. You attracted friendships like a magnet. You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like.
It's not really getting that, is it?
You attracted friendships like. 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 You attracted friendships.
Okay. There we go.
You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like.
Yeah, there is a bit more in that.
You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like.
And this section here.
You attracted friendships like.
Where was it? It was. There's two there, actually. Yeah, so maybe about the, yeah, about this. Yeah.
Like. You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like. You attracted friendships like.
Okay. All right, and the other thing I had to do was put in the other mix effects here, so we'll listen to that as well.
But you saw truth in words of leisure. Why can't the young be free? Why must my cousin flee? Believing somewhere you can find free air. Your open heart was like a dragnet. Why can't the young be free? You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships.
And what I might do
You attracted friendships.
is add these in as well.
You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships.
There we go, that captures it there.
You attracted friendships.
So we'll drag these over as well.
You attracted friendships.
And across into here as well.
Friendships.
So now when we
attracted friendships.
capture that whole lot,
you attracted friendships. You attracted friendships.
look, it's still not perfect, and I'm still not exactly happy with it. But how do you... I don't know what else to do, actually. If we drag these up to the same... Oh, that didn't do the same. And those are fine.
You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships. You attracted friendships.
So we'll leave that down, and
You attracted friendships.
we'll try to get the volumes.
You felt sorrow and desertion. You knew bitterness and subversion.
It is a little bit strong.
Now the truth is in your tree. Did you find your sanctity? Maybe there is somewhere you can find free air. You treated life as a treasure. You saw truth in words of leisure.
Is lead vocal? Here.
Why can't the young be free? You saw truth in words of leisure.
Okay, so I might have to add another fat channel after this. And just to tame those peaks. So I'll go a Brit comp. Because this in here is blowing it out, isn't it?
You saw truth in words of leisure. 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 You saw truth in You saw truth in words of leisure.
Look, I'm still not happy with it. I mean, besides getting Dad to redo these vocals, I'm not sure if I'm going to get any better out of these. I'm really struggling to make it sound natural and take away all the S's and everything like that.
You saw truth in words of leisure. You saw truth in words of leisure. You saw truth in words of leisure. Why can't the young be free? Why must my cousin flee? Believing somewhere you can find free air. Your open heart was like a dragnet. You saw truth in words of leisure. You saw truth in words of leisure. Why can't the young be free?
That's getting better.
Why must my cousin flee? Believing somewhere you can find free air.
It's going to burst a bit of high frequency.
Your open heart was like a dragnet. You attracted friendships like a magnet. Sometimes you couldn't see beyond the fantasy.
Now, I might change
somewhere
a few of these.
You can find free air. Shoving past a man with a white cane, naked and composed. A bearded tanner and a watchmaker. It's a dream I once had, and though it was quite sad, there was a meaning in there. They couldn't find free air. You had dreams of myth and fiction. You found peace in your addictions. The ashes settle on the ground. I hope you finally found that there is somewhere you can find free air.
Well,
You can find free air.
It's not perfect, but it's getting better. It's better. Oh, wow. Okay, well, that was longer than I thought it would be. And I've definitely made some real progress in there. The only next step is really for Dad to re-record the vocals, and we'll do it with my sound mixing desk, the Behringer desk that I've got, and to do it through my microphone, the SM58, just because the microphone just sounds better. It gives you a better recorded sound, I believe, to the Sennheiser one. And we don't have a lot of expensive gear. We don't have $3,000 compressor microphones. My father and I, we have stage gear because we've played on stage a lot, and this is our hobby basically, playing on stage. And Dad used to play a lot of his originals, which you'll find on Spotify and that now. But it's just a love of ours, and we're trying to get our music out there for more people to listen to, because there's a lot of great music out there, but the music that we're creating, I believe sounds good enough to have it out there among the public and people listening to it. And so obviously we're not going to have perfect production values and all that. I'm just doing it in a home studio with some cheap headphones and basically stage equipment. So it is what it is, and we're doing the best we can with the things that we've got. And luckily, Studio One seems to be a great program, and it's been very easy to learn, which is a great thing, especially for me, because I have limited time to learn how to use the software, because I don't have a lot of time free to just be studying manuals and stuff like that. I want to just click some things and see what happens. You know what I mean? At worst, I'll watch a YouTube video, or quickly look at the instruction manual. I don't want to spend weeks and weeks learning how to use software. I'd rather just use it, see what happens, click a few things, and that's it. That's basically how I like to learn. So Studio One has been great for that, and and we're producing stuff that it's starting to sound not too bad. So you'll be able to have a look at these tracks on Spotify and on YouTube eventually as well, when they get there. It'd be great to get some people listening to our stuff, and hopefully get some comments on this video, and you can tell me what I did wrong and what I could do better. And if there's an amazing plugin that I should be using for this instead of using the stock plugins. I just don't know. I flat out just don't know. I'm trying to do the best with what I have, and so if you have any suggestions, if you have any comments about I'm doing everything wrong, should back to the drawing board or whatever, you're quite welcome to do that. So that's me mucking around in Studio One trying to get my dad's songs out. If you got any questions, comments related to this or related to the song, if you want to hear the song, just put a comment down, and I'll get back to you. And have fun. Thanks for watching. It's all a learning experience.
You had dreams of myth and fiction. You found peace in your addictions. the ashes settle on the ground. I hope you finally found that there is somewhere you can find free air. You can find free air.